What's up guys, and welcome back to another video here on B-Mills Wrestling. In today's video, I am going to be reading your guys' WWE hot takes on both Twitter and Reddit. Guys, before we get into the video, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss any new videos, and don't forget to leave a like on this video. Without further ado, let's read these hot takes. The first hot take that we have on here says, "We do not need Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton at all, and it should not be revisited." I disagree with this one. I think it definitely needs to be revisited, whether people like it or not. I myself am not excited for this match, but it needs closure. This feud absolutely 1000% needs closure. Nia Jax never properly got a rematch. She was never properly pinned by Tiffany Stratton in their rematch. The rematch ended in a disqualification thanks to Candice LeRae, so they never got another match between them. The next match we had was a tag team match at Elimination Chamber, which was pretty much pointless, between Nia Jax and Candice LeRae versus Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus. Tiffany did pin Nia in that match, but it wasn't for the title, so it didn't have as much meaning as it should have. So I 1000% think that this feud needs closure. It doesn't need to be a long match, right? It doesn't need to be more than one match. I think it should just be one final match between these two, with Nia Jax putting over the champion Tiffany Stratton to add and elevate her reign, right? Because obviously she just beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, so now on the back of that, beating Nia Jax would be absolutely huge, and she can move on to bigger and better things as her reign continues. The next one we have says, "Finishing moves shouldn't let another wrestler kick out of them 3 to 5 times in a match. They lose all their importance." I kind of disagree with this one. I don't disagree with you fully on this. I do think that sometimes it gets a little ridiculous when people are kicking out of like 5+ finishers, but I also think it is needed to make their opponent look strong, as we saw in Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. We saw Cody Rhodes kick out of about 4 or 5 AAs, but I think it was needed to show you how strong the WWE champion was in Cody Rhodes. So I think sometimes that it definitely is needed, and I just also think it adds excitement to matches, because think about if a match just ended after one finisher, you're not that excited. But if you're getting a bunch of false finishes with guys kicking out of finishers, you're going to get really excited. Like I said earlier, it gets overused sometimes, but I think that it is absolutely needed in some matches, especially big-time matches on PLEs. A recent Raw, when we had Seth Rollins versus CM Punk in the Steel Cage match in Madison Square Garden, that had a lot of false finishes where CM Punk was kicking out of a bunch of curb stomps, and Seth Rollins was kicking out of go to sleeps, a curb stomp of his own. Like, it's just really fun, in my opinion, to watch that and see all those false finishes. So I do think that it is needed, but I do agree with you. Sometimes it does feel like it's just too much. The next hot take we have on here says, "If you take out the Travis Scott involvement, the Cena-Cody match at Mania wasn't even all that bad. I'm not saying it was great or good, because it wasn't, but it was booked exactly the way it was supposed to be." I do agree with this. The match itself was pretty slow, and you gotta take into account that John Cena is very old and he doesn't wrestle too much anymore. He's not full-time. He hasn't been full-time in, I want to say, 8 years, since 2017, I think, was his last full-time run. So you have to take that into account. But I didn't think it was like the worst match ever. There's definitely been worse matches, and there was probably worse matches at WrestleMania. But I did think that the Travis Scott involvement in this match was just really stupid, because it just feels like they're doing this for the fan that, the common fan, I should say, that doesn't watch WWE on the regularly, but they know Travis Scott, they listen to Travis Scott's music, and I just don't love that. I do love how they're trying to branch out WWE to the common fans, right? People that don't, or not too familiar with WWE, the product itself. But I just feel like sometimes they do too much. Like, they've been doing way too much advertising on these shows with like the Clash of Clans and all the other stuff. I just think that they do too much. And with Travis Scott himself, I thought that that was ridiculous. If he came out with The Rock, okay, I wouldn't have been as mad, because that would make sense. He's kind of like Rock's little henchman. But him just coming out and ultimately ruining the match by being the main reason Cody Rhodes was distracted and lost to John Cena, because Cody Rhodes being distracted with Travis Scott allowed Cena to grab the title and set up the shot. I really didn't like it. I hated how they had to involve him in this match in the way that they did, playing such a pivotal role. So I do agree with you. I think that that was stupid. And I liked the ending of the match, I guess, where Cody Rhodes was, not going to hit John Cena. He's not going to hit him with the title, not do the wrong thing. I liked that, because Cena's doing it for the fans, like John Cena was mentioning. Like, you're going to do everything you do for them, and that's why you're going to lose. And that's essentially what happened. So I thought the storytelling was there, but Travis Scott ruined this match. Next one we have says, my friends hate when I say this, but LA Knight is due a main event title run. He's championship material. I agree with you that he is championship material, but I don't think he's world championship material. That might ruffle a lot of feathers, but I just don't think that he is. I'm usually a fan of his promo work when he's in the ring with other wrestlers. Like, we just saw the segment between him and Drew McIntyre. I thought that was really good. His promos when he's just being interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly or whatever, I think they get really stale and they're kind of just repeating and repeating. I don't really find them too interesting. And, you know, in ring, he's not awful. He's not a bad wrestler, but he's also not a great wrestler. So I just don't think he has what it takes right now to be a main event guy. I know that he's over with the crowd, okay? There's a lot of people that are over with the crowd, but I just don't think that he fits into that realm, at least yet. I just think the main event scene is so packed right now. John Cena, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, who just got added into that scene. So many more guys that I'm not even naming right now. I just don't think that there's a place for him there. Like, maybe in the future. I know he is 42, so he doesn't have too many years left with wrestling. But as of right now, I think he should just stay in the mid-card. I am excited for the Fatal 4-Way that we're probably going to get at Backlash with him, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and Jacob Fatu. I think that's perfect for him. I think he belongs right in there. But as for him being in the main event scene, I just don't think so. I really don't. But maybe soon. Maybe in, give or take, a couple years when a few guys aren't going to be here anymore, like John Cena. Maybe some other guys won't be around, won't be in the main event scene. Maybe then LA Knight can get himself there. But as of right now, I just don't think he belongs there. The next hot take we have says, Paul Heyman carried Roman Reigns through a lot of his career. I disagree with this. This is a load of bullcrap. Okay, Paul Heyman helped Roman Reigns get to where he is. He did not carry him. Okay, if Paul Heyman was carrying Roman Reigns to where he is right now, Roman Reigns wouldn't be here anymore. Like, that's just how it is. He helped Roman get to that next level. With this heel character that Roman found in 2020 in the Tribal Chief, Paul Heyman was there to help him and navigate the way for him. So to say that he carried Roman, like Roman wasn't the one cutting those ridiculously great promos as the Tribal Chief, wasn't putting on those great matches as the Tribal Chief, didn't have a great title run, like, you know what I mean? Paul Heyman helped him do a lot of that. He didn't carry him. Saying he carried him is ridiculous to me. You have to give Roman Reigns his flowers. This guy went from being the most hated guy in WWE and then flipped a switch, turned heel in 2020, got this Tribal Chief character, and literally made everybody fall in love with him. Everybody is chanting OTC or Roman Reigns at every show, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, a PLE. This guy is so over, and he's been so over since he turned heel. So to say that that was all because of Paul Heyman is ridiculous. Roman Reigns had to put in the work himself as well to get himself where he is today, and I just think that this comment is ridiculous. The next one we have says Karrion Kross needs to be a world champion someday. Now, I've become a fan of Karrion Kross, I will say. I just saw, obviously, the promo he cut, which was off-screen, off of WWE TV, and probably was a straight shoot, if we're being honest. But that helped get a lot of fans behind him and on his side. He is a very talented wrestler, and he was super good at NXT. On the main roster, they just haven't done anything of importance with him, and kind of threw him in that faction with AOP, and that didn't really go anywhere. Those guys got released. Paul Ellering got released. So Karrion Kross is pretty much on his own with his wife right now, and I think it's time to do something with him. I don't mind the devil on your shoulder kind of gimmick he has, where he's going up to guys, turning them heel. Did it with the New Day. He's doing it with AJ Styles. He was teasing it with Sami Zayn, a few other guys as well. I do like that gimmick, but I think we need to see more of Karrion Kross in the ring, not just a few minutes at most of a promo every week, every other week, whatever it is. So I do think we need to see Karrion Kross on TV more, wrestle more, and get the fans behind him. Like, he already has gotten people behind him, and we saw when he appeared on TV and cut a little promo last week, he got cheered, which doesn't happen all the time. So that just shows you he has flipped the crowd into being on his side. So I would love to see a push for him. Definitely not a world title push. He doesn't belong there. He's nowhere close to that point. But he is a perfect guy to compete in the mid-card division with guys like Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, whoever else on Monday Night Raw, Sheamus, Kaiser, he fits into there perfectly. I think it's kind of disrespectful that he's not considered like those guys because he's super talented, both in the ring and on the mic. So I really do hope that he gets his push. I feel like it's coming soon. I've been seeing stuff on Twitter and more WWE TV appearances as well. But world title, we're definitely going to hold off for that. He's going to have to win a mid-card title or two before we talk about that. But I really do hope that Karrion Kross starts getting treated properly. The next one we have says, The Rock isn't as good as people think he is on the mic. Just endless waves of catchphrases. Do not put any red line, and a lot of guys could send him home crying. Okay, I do agree with this. I think The Rock used to be really good on the mic, and what he used to say on the mic used to mean something. And now it doesn't mean anything. Anything he says, it's just a load of crap, right? I mean, the whole I Want Your Soul promo with Cody Rhodes, I didn't understand a single thing he was saying in that promo. He waves of catchphrases like this guy said, and just going from talking about one thing to another thing, switching from characters like the Final Boss to now he's The Rock, to now he's the corporate guy, to now he's Dwayne Johnson. I don't understand. In all like the span of like 10 minutes, and he stretches promos out way too long, way longer than they have to be. He cut a promo on NXT like a few months back, and that like they had to cut him off before the show ended because he just doesn't know when to stop talking. Like, I don't mind The Rock totally. I mean, but like on the mic, yeah, he's just really lost a ton of steps when you compare his work from back in the day to now. He's definitely not the same, and he could definitely be a lot better. I think he just needs to learn how to not talk as much and stay in one character, not 5 billion people. The next one we have says Liv Morgan is the most complete wrestler in the women's division. I absolutely agree with this. I think she's the full package. When it comes to her in-ring stuff, and a lot of people used to say that she was overrated, that she was not good in the ring, watch her matches. Watch those matches with Io Sky. The matches with Rhea Ripley, I want to point out the match with Rhea Ripley at Bad Blood she had before the BS ending that got all botched with Raquel. The match they had was so good, but no one's ever going to remember it because of the bad finish and because there was no new title change, right? And a disqualification, whatever. But she puts on great matches. All of her Elimination Chamber matches have been excellent. And then you go to her promo work. She is great on the mic. She has a great heel character that she just plays so well. You never get bored of seeing her on TV. There's people that sometimes they're just so repetitive. They say the same things every week. That's not her. Every week it's something different. It's something funnier. And she has it all, right? She's charismatic. Like, not a lot of people have all that, right? I mean, you could talk about a few people like Rhea, Bianca, and Io, but I feel like there's some holes within them. Io isn't the greatest on the mic, and that's not particularly her fault. And then Rhea, I feel like also isn't the best on the mic. I feel like she does repeat herself a little bit. I think Bianca could be a little better on the mic. And I just think that Liv is the full package and that she is the best all-around female wrestler right now that WWE has. The next one we have on here says, despite Punk vs. Reigns vs. Rollins being a great match, I think it was just a fan service. Come on, man. What are you talking about? That tells me you didn't pay attention to the storyline. Like, this wasn't just about, oh, they're three big names, let's throw them on WrestleMania. No, this had a direct storyline that involved Paul Heyman turning on Roman Reigns and CM Punk to align with Seth Rollins. And now Paul, Seth, and Braun Breaker are this huge faction that everybody's talking about. This match needed to happen to propel a storyline. And now you're going to have the storyline of Roman and Punk having to come together despite their differences and be a tag team, at least for one match against Seth and Braun, probably at Backlash. There's so many layers to this story that's just more than, oh, like, they're three huge names and WWE didn't want to leave them off WrestleMania and, oh, they didn't deserve the main event. Did you watch the match? I mean, they put on one hell of a match itself, and then the storytelling was unbelievable. So I feel like this guy's just looking for some engagement because that is a ridiculous statement. I mean, I'm just assuming that you didn't pay attention to anything that happened over the last month and a half between these three men, because that is a ridiculous claim. The next one we have says that TLC match should have been on the WrestleMania card, not on some random SmackDown. It could have easily replaced the War Raiders vs. New Day match on night one. Dude, I 100% agree with you. I think that 99.9% of the wrestling community agrees with you. The New Day match at WrestleMania stunk. It was like 7-8 minutes, and nobody was paying attention, and all of a sudden the New Day won the titles. They just ran away with them. I myself was like, I didn't even know they won. I wasn't paying attention to the match. This match literally had everybody on the edge of their seats because it was so damn good. All the spots, the ladder spots, the table spots, everything that they did in that match was incredible. I don't understand why this couldn't be on WrestleMania. I really want to know the real reason. I want Triple H to tell us why. Because, oh, there was a timing issue. I don't think so, because night 1 ended about 30 minutes earlier than night 2 did. I believe I saw that on Twitter somewhere. So this definitely could have made it to night 1. And night 1 was horrible. Other than the main event, night 1 was atrocious. And this match could have absolutely helped the card. And I'm just super disappointed this isn't on WrestleMania. We do have to move past this, though, because we are a couple weeks out of WrestleMania. So we just have to say that this match was awesome. And obviously, we're just going to have to keep going now. And hopefully that Triple H doesn't make a mistake like this again. The next one we have says, this promo between these two was amazing. I'm excited for their match at Backlash in a few weeks. Who would have thought this match would be a heel Cena versus a face Randy Orton? Yeah, man, it is a ridiculous timeline that we are living in, that we have a heel John Cena taking on a babyface Randy Orton who is trying to save wrestling. Save it from John Cena. John Cena is trying to ruin wrestling. I mean, how crazy does that sound? Like, if someone would have said that to you, like, 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, you would have been like, what? Makes no sense. But it is crazy that we are living in this timeline that we are getting John Cena versus Randy Orton for the final time. That is what it's being listed as for Backlash. It absolutely has to main event. It's going to be the last time that these two guys fight each other. They've had so many matches in the past. I'm not sure what their record, their head-to-head record is, but one last time, I'm super pumped for it. I think the storyline has been amazing. Like you said, the promo was really good. Randy Orton just saying, I have to save wrestling. Like, you're not going to erase 3 generations of my family, right, in the business. Telling Cena that he needs to find himself, right? He needs to see that all the good that he's done for these kids and that he's throwing that all away right now. And I really do like this angle because I think that they're going to continue to do this throughout the summer and this heel Cena run. I think after Cena beats Randy Orton, which I do think will happen at Backlash, I think we'll go into the CM Punk feud. And I think CM Punk will also try to get Cena out of this mental state he's in about thinking, you know, the fans hate him and this and that, they don't deserve him. And I think each and every feud that Cena goes into, like, he's going to come to his senses a little bit more every time. And I don't know who would be next up after the match with Punk. I think maybe Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. So I think Cody could be the guy that actually gets Cena to come to the good side once again. So I do really like that they're doing that. I think that this is an excellent first feud for John Cena just because they need the crowd to hate John Cena. And they were obviously booing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, so that wasn't working. But now you put Randy Orton in this match, and nobody is going to boo Randy Orton, a 20-plus year veteran that has almost, if not the same respect level as John Cena does within the business. And obviously, it's in St. Louis Backlash, so it's in Randy's hometown. Nobody is going to boo Randy. They're probably going to boo Cena. So I do think it's a perfect feud for John Cena's first feud to really get him that hatred that he needs right now. The last one we have on here says, why is Fraxium not on Raw? I get that the SmackDown division has been the better division, but Raw is struggling, and Fraxium could have been the team to save it. Yeah, I do agree with this. The Raw tag division has been god-awful with the New Day and the War Raiders and like LWO. I don't know what they're doing with them. The Creed brothers, they've been inconsistent with their booking. I don't even really know who else is on Raw. A-Town Down Under, I don't think that they've had a tag match in like forever. I don't know what they're doing with them. Or if Austin Theory is joining that new group with Seth and Braun, who knows? But the Raw division, tag division, is a mess. So I absolutely agree with you. I think the Fraxium was needed for that division and could have been a great feud for the New Day. But instead they're on SmackDown. And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad about this at all. Because now you get all these dream matches between the Street Profits and Fraxium, DIY and Fraxium, Los Garzas and Fraxium. Like, you have so many possibilities. And Motor City Machine Guns as well, I didn't mention them. Just, this tag division's been so good, so I guess they just want to keep adding to it and bring in new contenders for the titles. Because obviously, the Profits did just retain the titles in that awesome TLC match. So they're probably going to be looking for a new feud, and that's probably going to set up a feud with Fraxium, which is going to be insane. That match literally has the ability to be 10 stars out of 5. So I'm super excited for that. But I do agree with you. I think that it would have benefited Raw more if they were there instead of SmackDown. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and don't forget to leave a like on this video. comment down below what you guys want to see in the next video. Alright guys, peace.